The reflection was no longer Milo. It had become a room, a second bedroom made of the first one but wrong. The bed in the mirror hung from the ceiling. The window opened onto a hallway. The closet door was where the floor should be. In the center of that reflected room stood a tall woman in a gray dress. Her face was covered with other faces. Children's faces. Flat as paper, layered over one another, blinking at different times. Some were old and faded. Some looked freshly cut. One looked almost like Milo. The woman raised a hand. Every face on her face smiled. Milo grabbed the mirror by the frame and threw it into the laundry basket, face down among socks and shirts. Then he dragged the basket into the hallway, locked the bedroom door again, and sat against it shaking. His mother found the basket outside his room at 10:05. "Mirror?" she asked through the door. "Yes." "Did you say good night?" "Yes." Did it answer? Milo swallowed. "Yes." A long silence. "Do not use that mirror again." What was the woman? His mother did not answer immediately. When she did, her voice was soft. Some mothers keep children awake by checking on them too much. Some mirrors learn from us. Milo did not understand, but he felt the sentence slide into a locked drawer in his mind. In the morning, the blue mirror was gone. His mother had replaced it with a small wooden sign on the dresser. No faces after 9. Milo liked that rule. It was simple. It left less room for interpretation. The pillow that breathed. The pillow began breathing in November. Not every night. That was part of its cruelty. If it had breathed nightly, Milo could have made a routine of it. Turn it over once. If still breathing, place it on the floor and apologize. Simple. But it waited until he trusted softness again. The night was cold, and the house smelled of soup. His mother had worked late. Milo had done the rules alone with careful pride. Window closed, latch clicked. Door locked. Floor clean. Paper written. Phone charging. Music low. Lights off. He climbed into bed and rested his head on the pillow. It inhaled. The movement was slight. The pillow lifted beneath his cheek as if filling with air. Milo held still. It exhaled warmly against his ear. Rule 12. If your pillow breathes, turn it over once. If it still breathes, put it gently on the floor and apologize. He sat up slowly, gripped the pillow by both corners, and flipped it. The underside was cool. For 3 breaths, nothing happened. Then the pillow inhaled again. This time the breath contained a word. Tired. Milo got out of bed. The carpet was cold under his feet. He kept his toes tucked under themselves as if the blanket's border could be remembered by skin. He lifted the pillow gently. It was heavier than a pillow should be. No, it breathed. Head. Sorry, Milo whispered. He placed it on the floor. The pillow folded inward at the center, as if something inside curled up. A damp spot spread across the pillowcase. It looked like a mouth pressed against fabric from within. Sorry, he said again. The pillow stopped breathing. He did not want to sleep without it. The bed looked wrong, head bare, sheet wrinkled. Children are creatures of arrangement. Remove one familiar object, and the whole room becomes a stranger. Milo took a folded sweatshirt from the clean chair and used it as a pillow. It smelled like laundry and daytime. He lay down. On the floor, the real pillow began to dream. He knew it was dreaming because it murmured images. Window. Teeth. Mother. Small hand. Counted moon. Open book. Please. Milo pulled the blanket over his ear. The pillow whispered louder. Your head leaves dense. We collect them. Every night, a little map. Ear here. Cheek here. Warmth here. Dreams leak downward. We drink what falls. Stop, Milo whispered. The pillow sighed. We are comfort. You press your skull to us and trust us. You give us the shape of your sleeping face. Do you know what else can wear a shape? He almost called his mother. But calling meant noise. Noise might interest the walls. Also, a stubborn part of him hated needing help for every rule. He wanted to be a good sleeper. He wanted the monsters bored. I apologized, he said. The pillow was silent. Then it answered in his mother's voice, muffled and sleepy, Come here, honey. You need rest. Milo sat up. On the floor, the pillow rose slowly. Not floating. Standing. It balanced on one corner, then unfolded. The fabric stretched, corners lengthening like limbs. The damp mouth pressed outward. Two hollows formed where eyes might be. It was still only a pillow, but it had learned enough from his head to pretend it being a face. Rest, it said. Milo grabbed the white paper from the desk and held it up. Quietly sleep. The pillow thing turned toward the sentence. Yes, it said. Quietly. With your face in me. No screaming then. The phone on the desk chimed. I noticed you may be trying to sleep, Siri said softly. Would you like calming sounds? The pillow spun toward the phone. Milo whispered, Hey Siri, play rain sounds at 9%. Rain began, soft and steady. The pillow shuddered. Rain, Milo realized, was not just sound. At low volume, it made a curtain. A gentle one. A pattern too boring for many things to cross. The pillow sagged under it. Bored, it whispered. Good, Milo said. He took the laundry basket, placed it over the pillow like a cage, and set two heavy books on top without reading their titles. Then he returned to bed and rested his head on the folded sweatshirt. In the morning, the pillow was flat and ordinary beneath the basket, except for one detail. Pressed into its center was a perfect imprint of Milo's sleeping face. His mother saw it and went very pale. We need to replace your pillow, she said. With what? Something that has never learned you. That afternoon they bought a new pillow, plain and sealed in plastic. His mother made him write his bedtime sentence on the plastic package before opening it. Why? He asked. So it knows its job before it knows your face. The wardrobe was closed. Winter made the wardrobe worse. Coats arrived first. Thick ones. Dark ones. They filled the closet with hanging bodies that touched each other in the dark. Scarves dangled like sleepy snakes. Boots stood below in pairs, toes pointed outward, waiting for feet. Milo disliked opening the closet after sunset, but he disliked cold mornings too, so he tolerated it in daylight. On a December night when frost silvered the window, the wardrobe knocked before Milo finished writing. Tap. 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 He did not look up. Quietly sleep. He wrote the words carefully. Tap. 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 We are closed for sleep, he said. He counted breaths. 1. 2. 3. At 4, the knocking changed. Instead of taps, it became a soft thud from inside, followed by a whimper. Milo, said Theo's voice. Milo's pen rolled off the desk. Theo had not come over in weeks. After the toy rabbit and the moon night, Milo had made excuses. Too much homework. Stomachache. Family plans. It was easier than explaining why playdates had to end before the room remembered how to be dangerous. Now Theo was inside the wardrobe. Milo, let me out, Theo said. It's cold in here. Rule 10 said not to open. Rule 13 warned about voices. Rule 3 cared about locks. But there was no rule for a friend crying from inside furniture. What did you call me at recess when I dropped my lunch? Milo asked. Theo sobbed. What? Answer. I don't know. Come on. Open it. Milo's hands clenched. The real Theo would know. He had called Milo soup shoes for 2 days after noodle soup spilled on his sneakers. It had been annoying then. Now the missing insult felt precious. We are closed for sleep, Milo repeated. The whimper stopped. A deeper voice chuckled. Clever little latch boy. The wardrobe doors bowed outward. Milo backed toward the bed. Closed things can still contain, said the voice. Do you know what is inside closed things? Everything children put away without looking. Old coats. Old shoes. Old fears. The version of yourself your mother says you have outgrown. The left door cracked open. Milo grabbed the broom. The gap widened before he could say the rule again. Inside the wardrobe was not the row of coats. It was a long, narrow hallway lined with hanging clothes. The hallway stretched far beyond the wall of the house. Coats hung from both sides, brushing each other in a wind that smelled of wool, dust, and winter breath. At the far end stood a child. Theo. Maybe. The figure wore Theo's red jacket. His back was turned. Don't look, said a voice from the phone. Milo jumped. The real phone had lit on the desk. No call. No assistant icon. Just text across the screen. It wears the last person you almost invited. The wardrobe child turned halfway. Milo shut his eyes. The thing in the wardrobe shrieked, but the shriek became laughter halfway out. He wants friends, it said. He wants games. He wants 1 more hour before bed with someone who does not believe him. Milo kept his eyes closed. We are closed for sleep. Then why is your heart open? The question hit harder than any claw. He did want friends. He wanted to be normal. He wanted messy play and bright games and sleepovers where the only rule was not to wake parents by laughing too loudly. He wanted a life where bedtime was boring. The wardrobe knew. The hallway inside it lengthened. He could hear hangers clicking like teeth. Coats brushed the floor. Something dragged itself closer, wearing Theo's jacket and maybe Theo's shape, maybe not. Milo reached behind him for the white paper. He held it up without opening his eyes. Quietly sleep. The wardrobe hissed. That sentence is not for us. We are not tired. No, Milo said, surprising himself. But I am. The floorboards trembled. The wardrobe door slammed shut so hard the room jumped. For several minutes, Milo stood with his eyes closed, holding the paper like a shield. When he opened them, the closet was normal. Coats. Scarves. Boots. No endless hallway. No friend. The phone screen had gone dark. In the morning, he called Theo. "Do you want to come over Saturday?" Theo asked. Milo looked at his mother. She watched him from the kitchen table, expression unreadable. "Only until 7, Milo said. Theo groaned. "Why are you so weird about bedtime?" Milo almost said, "Because some things were the last person you almost invited." Instead he said, "Because I'm trying to get good at sleeping." Theo laughed. Milo let him. Some laughs were safe in daylight. 3:33 again. The night before Christmas vacation, Milo failed Rule 17. He had done everything else correctly. Maybe that was why it happened. Perfection can make a child proud, and pride is just fear standing on a chair to look taller. At 3:33, the mattress dipped. Milo woke instantly. His body had learned the hour. He saw the phone glow. 3:33. He saw the ceiling stain darken. He felt pressure at the foot of the bed. "Do not move." He did not. The inspectors descended. This time there were 4. The new one was small, no bigger than a toddler, but it wore an adult's black suit. It crawled down the wall rather than the ceiling, carrying a little bell. Its face was entirely covered by a white cloth with 2 wet circles where eyes pressed from underneath. The usual inspectors checked the room. Window secure. Door secure. Floor acceptable. Written declaration clear. Phone charging. Music low. The small inspector rang its bell once. The sound went through Milo's bones. "Dream leakage," it said. Milo did not know what that meant, but the other inspectors became very still. The small one crawled onto the bed. "Do not move." It walked over the blanket, impossibly light. Milo felt each step as a cold dot. It climbed to his chest and stood there, bell in one hand. Beneath the white cloth, the wet eye circles pulsed. He dreamed of opening the window, it said. Milo's heart lurched. He had. In his dream, it had been summer. The room was too hot. His mother called from outside, laughing. He opened the window, and instead of a monster, warm air came in smelling of grass. It had been a good dream until now. Dreams do not count, Milo thought desperately. The small inspector tilted its covered head. Dreams are rehearsals, it said, though he had not spoken. Rehearsal reveals desire. The mattress dipped from underneath. Something pressed up beneath his spine. The small inspector leaned close. Its cloth brushed Milo's nose. He sneezed. It was not a choice. It came from his body like betrayal. His chest jerked. His head moved. The sneeze cracked the inspection open. Every monster in the room inhaled. For 1 second, nothing happened. Then the inspectors screamed. They did not scream in fear or pain. They screamed like alarms. The ceiling stain widened. The closet burst open. The window latch flew up. The phone screen flashed white. The white paper tore itself in half down the center of the sentence. Quietly/sleep. The split words curled away from each other like wounded insects. Milo bolted upright. The room erupted. A hand from the closet grabbed the bedpost. Something at the window pushed its smiling mouth against the glass. The floor, though clean, opened tiny seams between carpet fibers, and black fingers sprouted through them. The small inspector rang its bell again and again, skipping across the blanket. Movement, it cried. Movement. Movement. The phone chimed. Emergency services are not available for this type of emergency, Siri said calmly. Milo screamed for his mother. The bedroom door shook. From outside came her voice. Milo. Do not open the door. From inside the closet came her voice too. Open the door, sweetheart. From the window, open. From under the bed, open. From the torn paper, open. Everything wanted openings. Milo grabbed both halves of the paper and tried to press them together. The torn edges writhed. Ink bled from the letters. He could not fix it. His sentence was broken. His border had split. His mother shouted through the door, "Write it again. There's no paper. Use the back." He flipped one half. Blank white. The pen had rolled under the desk. A black hand from the carpet reached for it. Milo jumped from the bed. Immediately, the thing under the bed lunged. He saw only a pale shoulder, too many ribs, a mouth full of soft little hands. It snapped at the place his ankle had been. The blanket border was gone now. He was outside it. The room had jurisdiction. He dove for the pen. The carpet fingers closed around his wrist. They were cold and weak but many. They pulled downward, trying to fold his hand into the floor. He kicked, not at a body but at the seams themselves. The phone rain track jumped to 40%, then 60%, as something knocked it. The walls began to knock along. Milo reached the pen. The small inspector landed on his back, bell ringing beside his ear. Noncompliance. Noncompliance. He slammed his elbow backward. The inspector flew into the laundry basket, bell clanging. The room gasped. Maybe no child had struck an inspector before. Milo did not wait to learn the penalty. He dragged the paper half to the desk, but the desk lamp switched itself on. Bright creatures bloomed instantly inside the bulb, eager, white, starving. He shut his eyes and wrote blind. Quietly sleep. The first word slanted downward. The second crowded it. The letters were not beautiful, but they were clear. The lamp exploded. Darkness crashed back. Everything stopped at once. The closet slammed. The window latch dropped. The carpet fingers withdrew. The phone volume fell to 9% by itself. The inspector's bell rolled across the floor and became a jingle bell from a Christmas decoration. Milo stood bent over the desk, sobbing. Outside the door, his mother whispered, "Read it aloud." He looked at the sentence. Quietly sleep. Again. Quietly sleep. Again. By the third time, the word steadied. His mother remained outside the door until morning. When the sun rose, she came in and cleaned the broken glass from the lamp. Milo sat on the bed wrapped in a blanket. His ankle had a ring of pale marks where Floor fingers had held him. They did not bleed. They faded by breakfast. "I moved," he said. His mother gathered the torn paper. "And then you corrected the rule." "I hit one." She paused. "Which one?" "The little one with the bell." For the first time since the rules began, his mother laughed. It was not a happy laugh exactly. More like a door opening inside her chest. "Good," she said. Milo stared. "Good." She put the broken lamp in a box. Fear teaches obedience. But sooner or later, a child must learn the difference between obedience and surrender. That was the first time he understood the rules were not only meant to scare him. They were training him to draw lines. A sleepover trial. By January, Milo could sleep through most nights. That did not mean the monsters were gone. He heard them sometimes, testing the edges. A whisper at the window before 9. A knock in the wardrobe after lights out. A tiny laugh when he folded the paper. But they sounded less hungry now. More bureaucratic. Monsters, Milo learned, dislike children who become predictable. Then Theo invited him to a sleepover. The invitation arrived on a Friday afternoon, and Milo wanted to say no before he wanted to say yes. That was new and sad. A sleepover should have been pizza, movies, sleeping bags, too much laughter, secret snacks. But Milo imagined Theo's floor covered in clothes, game controllers glowing under blankets, windows open because the room was hot, music loud, lights on past midnight. "Can I go?" he asked his mother. She looked at him for a long time. "Can you bring the rules?" "Theo will laugh." "Probably. His mom will think we're weird." "Possibly. What if their house doesn't have them?" His mother folded a dish towel. "Every house has bedtime." So Milo went. He packed pajamas, toothbrush, charger, white paper, pen, and a small flashlight he did not plan to use. His mother added a hairbrush for latches and a folded note he was not allowed to open unless something in Theo's house used her voice. Theo's house smelled like pizza and dog. His room was larger than Milo's and gloriously messy. Posters on the wall. 2 game consoles. Clothes in piles. A big window overlooking the backyard. The bed and an air mattress. A closet with sliding doors that did not lock. Milo felt the rules in his backpack grow heavy. At 8:50, he said, we should close the window. Theo laughed. It's not even cold. Just close it. Why? Because the hour has teeth, Milo thought. He said, bugs. Theo shrugged and closed the window but did not latch it. Milo waited until Theo turned away, then used the hairbrush handle to push the latch down. It clicked. Something in the backyard said, new boy. Milo stiffened. Theo did not hear. At 9:30, they played games with the lights on. Milo kept glancing at the screen. The characters behaved. Mostly. Once, an enemy that should have walked left paused and looked outward. Milo turned the console off. Hey! Theo said. No games in the dark. The lights are on. Milo looked at the ceiling bulb. It blinked. That's worse. Theo stared at him. You are so weird now. Milo wanted to explain. He wanted Theo to understand without needing proof. But belief is expensive. Some children pay with laughter. Some with bloodless ankle marks. Some with one night they never forget. Let's just sleep, Milo said. It's 10. Exactly. Theo groaned but allowed the lights to be turned off because he was tired and because sleepovers make even resistant sleepy eventually. The room became dark. Milo wrote quietly sleep on his paper and placed it between the bed and air mattress. Theo laughed from the bed. What is that? A rule. For what? For sleeping. Theo made a snoring sound. Milo lay on the air mattress, blanket tucked over his feet, phone charging beside him, rain sounds at 9%. Theo fell asleep quickly, rude in his ease. Milo watched the ceiling. At 12:14, the sliding closet door opened. Not much. Just enough for the dark inside to become interested. Milo sat up. Theo, he whispered. Theo snored. From the closet came Theo's voice, awake and frightened. Milo. I'm in here. Milo closed his eyes. Of course. New house, old trick. What did you call me when I dropped soup on my shoes? The closet hesitated. The real Theo snored. Best friend, the closet said. Milo almost smiled despite the terror. Wrong. The closet door slid wider. Inside was not a hallway this time. It was Theo's room again, reflected in dark water. In that room, two boys slept, Theo in bed, Milo on the air mattress. A tall shape stood between them, bending over the paper. It had no head, only a bundle of pajamas tied at the neck. The white paper on the real floor rustled. The headless pajama thing in the closet reached down and wrote on its version of the paper. Milo looked at the real paper. A new sentence appeared beneath quietly sleep. Bring him to. Rule 15. Refuse politely. Milo did not write. He whispered, one line is enough. The closet room rippled. The headless thing jerked upright. Though it had no head, Milo felt it looking at him. Theo snorted awake. What are you doing? He mumbled. Don't look at the closet. Theo looked at the closet. The shape inside unfolded. Theo screamed. The room became chaos, Theo scrambling backward, the closet thing sliding forward through its own reflection, the ceiling bulb flashing on by itself, bright creatures blooming, the game console chirping awake. Theo's mother shouted from down the hall. Milo grabbed the paper and slapped it against the closet door. "Quietly sleep," he shouted. The words burned black through the page. The closet thing struck the other side of the door so hard the paper tore around Milo's fingers. Theo threw his blanket over his head. The bright bulb blinked rapidly, eager for eyes. Milo yelled, "Lights off." Theo, to his credit, obeyed. He lunged from the bed and hit the switch. The bright things vanished with hisses. The game console remained on, characters on the screen turned wrong. "Turn it off," Milo shouted. Theo grabbed the controller, saw the screen, and began crying. The little hero in the game had Theo's face now. Milo hit the power button on the console and held it until it died. The closet door banged again. "We are closed for sleep," Milo and Theo shouted together. The banging stopped. Theo's mother opened the bedroom door. Hallway light poured in, and for one terrible second every bright creature in the bulb, console, and window reflection turned toward her eyes. Milo's folded emergency note warmed in his pocket. He opened it. Inside, his mother's handwriting read, "If another mother enters during the hour, tell her this exactly, do not ask what happened. Turn off the hall light. Say, the children are sleeping correctly now. Then close the door." Milo read it aloud. Theo's mother, pale and shaking, obeyed without a question. When the door closed again, the room settled. Theo sobbed under his blanket. What was that? Milo lay back on the air mattress, trembling so hard his teeth clicked. "Bedtime," he said. By morning, Theo believed. That was both comforting and awful. Belief meant Milo was not alone. It also meant the monsters had found another child who knew their shape. At breakfast, Theo's mother asked quietly if Milo's mother might share the sleeping rules. Milo looked at Theo. Theo looked at the floor. "She will," Milo said. The grown-ups exchanged the kind of glance children hate, meaningful, frightened, already planning. The Book of Mothers. Milo found the book by accident in February. He had been looking for tape in his mother's desk. She was outside scraping frost from the car. The desk drawer stuck, and when he pulled harder, it opened too far. A stack of envelopes slid forward. Behind them, wrapped in a scarf, was a thin black book. It had no title on the cover. Milo knew at once he should not open it. He opened it. The first page contained names. Not story names. Family names. His mother's maiden name. His grandmother's. Names written in different inks, different hands, some faded brown with age. Beside each name were dates and tiny marks, moons, windows, bells, eyes. The next pages held rules. Not the 18 rules Milo knew, but older versions. Close the shutters before candle end. Bank the fire low, flame invites the bright ones. Sweep the rushes from the floor. Place chalk words beside the cradle. Do not let the child sleep with ribbons untied. If the cradle sings without a hand, do not rock it back. Page after page. Bedtime rules from houses without electricity, without phones, without glass windows, without clocks. The rules changed with the centuries, but the shapes behind them remained. The window callers. The bright ones. The underbed witness. The wardrobe tenant. The paper mouth. The inspectors. The borrowed mother. The moon with teeth. At the back of the book was a section written in his mother's current handwriting. Milo should have stopped. He did not. Subject, Milo. Age 8. Resistance level, high. Common delays, games, books, floor play, bargaining for more minutes, fear of darkness. Recommended introduction, full list, with emphasis on window and lights. Expected first contact, within 3 nights, likely earlier due to open window habit. Milo read the paragraph twice. Recommended introduction. Expected first contact. His mouth went numb. Below that were notes. Night 1, window caller appeared immediately. Good. Fear response strong. He closed latch. Bright ones overfed due to unnecessary lights. Must reinforce darkness as safety, not punishment. Night 3, floor colony active due to clutter. He cleaned under pressure. Good progress. Night 6, phone mimicry. He used identity question. Excellent. Moon event, my fault. Curtains not reinforced. He counted 7. Managed with intervention. Possible echo child appeared under bed. Do not discuss yet. Milo's hands shook. This was not only a warning book. It was a record. His mother had known the monsters would come. She had measured his fear. She had written good beside nights that made him cry silently into his blanket. She had watched progress in the same way teachers watched handwriting improve. The front door opened. Milo shoved the book back too quickly. The scarf caught. The drawer would not close. His mother appeared in the doorway. They stared at each other. For once, she did not pretend. You read it, she said. Milo stepped back from the desk. You knew. Yes. You made them come. Pain crossed her face. No. You wrote expected first contact. Because I know the signs. You wrote good. She closed her eyes. Yes. Milo felt something hot and wounded rise in him. It was not the same as fear. It was anger, and it made him feel taller. I was scared. I know. They tried to hurt me. I know. And you wrote good. His mother's face crumpled then, not dramatically, not like adults in movies. Something simply gave way around her eyes. When you were 3, she said, you stopped breathing in your sleep for 12 seconds. The doctors called it something ordinary and gave me instructions. When you were 5, you sleepwalked to the stairs. When you were 7, you hid a tablet under your pillow and stayed awake until you vomited from exhaustion. You do not remember every danger that visited you because mothers keep most dangers boring. But bedtime was already harming you, Milo. The rules did not create that. They gave shape to what was shapeless. Monsters are not habits. No, she said. But habits are doors. He hated that she was right in a way that did not make her innocent. Why not just tell me normally? I tried. Close the window. Turn off the light. Clean the floor. Stop playing. Go to sleep. Every mother says these things until the words become wallpaper. You did not hear me. So you scared me. Yes. The honesty was back, terrible as the first night. Milo looked at the black book. Did Grandma do this to you? Yes. Did you hate her? His mother smiled sadly. For a while. Then I survived enough nights to understand what she had been fighting. Then I had you. Will I have to do this if I have kids? She did not answer. The silence was an answer with no mercy. That night, Milo refused the rules. Not all of them. Refusal in children is rarely complete, fear leaves practical habits behind. He closed the window. He locked the door. He charged the phone. But he did not write the sentence. He left the white paper blank on the desk like an accusation. At 10 o'clock, the lights went off. At 10:07, the blank paper began to sob. At 10:12, the window whispered, "No declaration." At 10:20, the closet door opened by itself. At 10:31, something under the bed said, "Angry children are awake children." Milo lay with his feet tucked under the blanket, jaw clenched, refusing to move. The monsters did not attack at once. That was not their way. They gathered. The bright ones glowed faintly in the dead bulb. The wardrobe tenant breathed through coats. The underbed witness pressed upward. The paper sobbed and sobbed. At 11:04, his mother spoke through the locked door. "Milo, write the line." "No. They are gathering." "You wanted them to." A long pause. "I wanted you to live long enough to be angry at me." That sentence struck him harder than any rule. The thing under the bed whispered, "Anger is a door too." Milo sat up. The room leaned toward him. He took the pen and wrote on the blank paper. "Not quietly sleep." He wrote, "I choose to sleep." The paper screamed. The walls shook. The closet banged. The window fogged with 100 mouths. His mother gasped outside the door. Milo held the pen so hard it hurt. The letters glowed black. For a moment he thought he had doomed himself. Then the room settled. The monsters retreated farther than ever before. Outside the door, his mother whispered, "What did you write?" Milo looked at the sentence. "I choose to sleep." He understood then what the old rules had been hiding inside fear. A child cannot be forced into true sleep. Sleep is a surrender, but not surrender to monsters, not even to mothers. It is a choice to trust the borders you have drawn. "A new rule," he said. The final rule. After that, the rules changed. Not all at once. Old things dislike revisions. The paper mouth especially hated them. For 3 nights, whenever Milo wrote "I choose to sleep," the paper puckered and tried to spit ink across the words. On the fourth night, it accepted the sentence with a sulky silence. On the fifth, it whispered, "Clear enough." His mother copied the new sentence into the black book. Subject, Milo. Revision successful. Child moved from fear compliance to chosen compliance. Monsters retreated. Continue monitoring. Do not overpraise, pride may reopen window behavior. Milo still disliked the notes, but he understood them differently. A mother writes what she is afraid to forget. The book was not only control. It was a map of battles fought in rooms that looked ordinary by breakfast. Months passed. By spring, the window no longer called every night. When it did, its voices sounded bored. The closet knocked once in a while and accepted closure with a sigh. The floor, kept clean, offered no country. The lights went off before 10, and the bright ones starved into the filaments. The phone remained charged. Rain played low. Books slept shut. Games stayed outside the blanket. Milo grew. He did not become fearless. Fearless children do foolish things. He became practiced. He learned that terror could be folded like paper and placed on a desk facing the door. He learned that habits are not punishments adults invent, but handles a child can grip when the dark becomes too large. On the last night he saw them clearly. He was almost 9. It was his birthday eve. His mother had let him have cake after dinner. Theo came over until 7. They played loudly in the yard, not the bedroom. At 8:30, Milo cleaned without being told. At 8:55, he closed the window. At 9:20, he brushed his teeth and laughed because the mirror blinked exactly when he did. At 9:40, he wrote "I choose to sleep." At 10 o'clock, lights out. At 3:33, he woke. The inspectors had come again. There were many this time, gathered on the ceiling, walls, and floor, thin bodies folded, clipboards held, mouths varied and strange. The small one with the bell stood at the foot of the bed. Its white cloth face tilted toward him. Milo did not move. The inspectors checked everything. Window secure. Door secure. Floor clean. Declaration altered but accepted. Phone charging. Music low. Feet contained. Dream leakage minimal. The small inspector rang its bell once, softly. Child aging, it said. The others rustled. From under the bed came the old wet voice. Less resistance. Less flavor. The window caller pressed a pale face to the glass, but its smile was thin now, exhausted. The bright ones flickered weakly in the dark bulb. The wardrobe tenant opened the closet a crack and looked out with its button eye. They were all there, not attacking, not teaching, only watching. Milo realized they looked hungry. Not starving exactly. Monsters endure. But hungry in the way a bad habit becomes hungry when you stop feeding it. Hungry in the way a tantrum fades when nobody answers. Hungry in the way fear hates a child who has learned the route through it. The small inspector lowered its bell. Compliant sleeper, it said. File reduced. The ceiling stain opened. One by one, the inspectors folded themselves into it. The bright ones dimmed. The wardrobe tenant shut the door from inside. The underbed witness withdrew so far that the space under the bed became only darkness and dust. The window caller dragged its finger antlers down the glass one last time, leaving no mark. Before it vanished, it whispered in his mother's voice, "Good night, Milo." He did not answer. He slept. In the morning, the black book lay on the kitchen table. His mother sat beside it with 2 cups of cocoa. One for her, one for him. She had dark circles under her eyes, but she looked lighter than he had ever seen her. "They are bored with you," she said. Milo sipped cocoa. "Will they come back?" "Sometimes. During stress. During grief. During years when you forget yourself. Monsters are patient with adults too. But they will not find you as easy." "What happens now?" She touched the black book. "Now we keep the rules in case someone needs them. Theo. Theo. His mother. Maybe one day your children, if you have them. Maybe a child who reads too late in a bright room and thinks sleep is something adults invented to ruin fun." Milo looked at the book. "Can I write the final rule?" His mother slid it toward him. He opened to a blank page. For a while, he did not know what to say. Then he wrote in his clearest letters. "Final rule. The rules are not here because the night is stronger than you. The rules are here to help you become stronger than the night." His mother read it. She cried without making sound. Milo pretended not to notice, because children keep some dangers boring too. For mothers only. Dear mothers. If you have reached this page, your child has either begun resisting sleep, or you remember what came for you when you did the same. Do not panic. Panic is noisy. Night things appreciate noisy mothers almost as much as noisy children. This story may be read as a bedtime tale, a set of household rules, or a gentle behavioral program dressed in a monster's skin. Use it with care. The goal is not to traumatize the child. The goal is to give shape to the invisible dangers of poor sleep, open windows, bright screens, late games, messy floors, unlocked doors, loud sounds, and the lonely bravery children invent when they believe bedtime is negotiable. Children do not understand long-term consequences. They understand doors. They understand blankets. They understand something waiting behind a window that should already be closed. So we teach them with symbols first, explanations later. We make routine visible. We turn good habits into protective magic. Close the window before 9, and the child learns boundaries. Turn off the lights before 10, and the child learns darkness is not abandonment. Lock the door and window, and the child learns safety has sounds: click, check, breathe. Write one clear sentence, and the child learns intention. Keep music low, and the child learns calm. Clean the floor, and the child learns that chaos gives fear places to hide. Put away books and games, and the child learns that stories and screens must also sleep. Charge the phone, and the child learns preparation. Tuck in the feet, close the wardrobe, leave the mirror alone, do not count the moon's teeth. These are not merely superstitions. They are images children can carry when the body resists rest. But remember the twist, mother. The monsters are real enough to the child. That means your responsibility is real too. Do not abandon a child to fear and call it discipline. Stand outside the door. Sing if you must. Answer the phone. Teach the question only a real mother can answer. Replace the pillow when it has learned too much. Burn the curtains if the moon gets through. Most importantly, do not keep the child forever in fear compliance. Fear may close the window. Fear may turn off the game. Fear may clean the floor. But fear alone cannot teach true sleep. One day, the sentence must change from quietly sleep to I choose to sleep. That is the night the child begins to win. So yes, this is a bedtime rule story for mothers who want to cultivate correct sleeping habits in their children. That is what you may tell other mothers at school gates, in group chats, in calm voices over coffee. You may say it is educational. You may say it builds routine. You may say it helps children sleep on time. All of that is true. Just do not say the other true thing too loudly. Every good bedtime habit is a lock. And every lock was invented because something once tried to get in. The complete sleeping rules for the child's room. Rule 1. Before 9 p.m., close your bedroom window. If the window calls your name, do not answer. If it calls in your mother's voice, close it faster. A window is a mouth your house keeps on its face. During the day, this is innocent. It lets in air, birdsong, neighbor laughter, the smell of rain on pavement. After 9, it remembers it can open both ways. A child who closes the window learns that not every voice deserves entry. If the voice outside sounds cold, let it be cold. If it sounds kind, let it be kind somewhere else. If it sounds like mother, remember that a real mother owns doors and stairs and footsteps. She does not need to whisper through a screen. When writing this rule for a child, do not explain too much. Too much explanation gives clever children room to argue. State the time. State the action. State the danger. The image will do the rest. The first victory of bedtime is not sleep. It is the child crossing the room and closing the window before the world outside starts making requests. Rule 2. Before 10 p.m., turn off the lights and keep the room dark. They do not fear light. They enjoy it. Light shows them where your eyes are. Children think darkness is the monster's home. This is a useful mistake until it becomes a refusal. The deeper lesson is stranger, light can summon attention. Bright screens, lamps, and glowing toys make a child visible to the wrong parts of the night. The dark, when chosen correctly, is not emptiness. It is a blanket over the room. It tells the body that the day has ended and the eyes may stop reporting for duty. Do not let the child use light as a negotiation. One lamp becomes 2. A night light becomes a screen. A screen becomes a game. The bright ones thrive in a chain of exceptions. Say this gently if the child is young, the lights are tired too. Say it firmly if the child is older, after 10, light shows them where your eyes are. Rule 3. Confirm that both the bedroom door and the window are locked. Do not trust a lock you did not hear click. A lock is a sound before it is an object. Click. That is the syllable of safety. A child should hear it, check it, and trust it only because the action was completed. This rule teaches the body to finish tasks instead of drifting away half done. Many frightening things enter through unfinished gestures: a door pulled but not latched, a window lowered but not locked, a curtain drawn but not closed. In the story, the monsters respect locks because monsters in rule horror must have laws. In the home, the habit matters for ordinary safety too. Children sleep better when the room has edges. Edges are kindness. Edges tell the imagination where to stop. Rule 4. Place one clean sheet of white paper and one pen on your desk. Before sleeping, write exactly one line, quietly sleep. The letters must be clear. The white paper is the heart of the ritual. One clean sheet. One pen. One sentence. The sentence gives the child a final deliberate act before sleep. Do not make the sentence complicated. Complexity wakes the mind. Quietly sleep works because it is plain, almost dull, and therefore powerful. Later, for a child who has learned the habit, the sentence may become I choose to sleep. That change should not be rushed. Clear handwriting matters because attention matters. A scribble says, I am escaping this task. Clear letters say, I am present, and now I am finished. The paper mouth in the story punishes sloppy letters because fear loves ambiguity. Good routines remove ambiguity. They leave fewer cracks. Rule 5. You may play music from your phone. The volume must not exceed 10%. Loud music makes the walls curious. Sound is a ladder. Loud sound lets the night climb. Soft sound can become a fence. Music under 10% gives the child comfort without stimulation. It also keeps the room from becoming so silent that every pipe, branch, and settling board turns into a threat. Rain sounds are especially useful because they are boring in the best possible way. They repeat without demanding attention. The rule should not become a new argument. Set the volume together. Show the child the number. Then stop negotiating. If the child says louder, explain that loud music is daytime behavior. Night music is for hiding the room from curious walls. Rule 6. Keep the floor clean. They hide where a child has made little mountains for them. A messy floor is a map of unfinished choices. Clothes become caves. Toys become broken villages. Books become doors left open. The rule teaches children to remove hiding places from both real accidents and imagined threats. A clean floor prevents trips in the dark, lost objects, and the creeping feeling that something could move from pile to pile without being seen. Make cleaning part of the story, not a punishment outside it. The child is not doing chores. The child is flattening monster country. This turns resistance into agency. The child is not being controlled. The child is reclaiming the room. Rule 7. Do not read books or play games in the dark. If the words begin to twitch, or if a character turns its head the wrong way, close the book and shut the game off at once. Books and games are not enemies. They are doors. During the day, doors are wonderful. At night, doors should close. Reading in darkness strains the eyes and keeps the mind lit from within. Games are worse because they answer touch. A game under a blanket tells a child, you are still powerful, still moving, still winning. Sleep requires the opposite, release. The image of words twitching and characters turning wrong gives children a reason to stop before fatigue becomes fear. It also respects the truth that screens can feel alive at night. The story makes that feeling literal so the habit can become memorable. Rule 8, keep your phone connected to the charger. Make sure the voice assistant answers when you say, "Hey Siri." If you cannot call out, it must call for you. The charged phone rule is modern and practical. A phone should not be a secret toy at bedtime, but it may be an emergency tool, a music source, and a point of contact. The voice assistant becomes a protective figure in the story because children understand responsive technology. It answers when called, and that answer can interrupt panic. Do not let this rule become permission to scroll, play, or watch. The phone sleeps too, charging, face down or dim, doing one assigned job. Preparation is not indulgence. It is a calm adult decision placed within reach of a frightened child. Rule 9, keep both feet under the blanket. A blanket is not a wall, but it is a border, and borders matter to old things. The blanket border is ancient. Children understand it without teaching. Feet outside the blanket feel exposed because the sleeping body knows edges even when the mind laughs at them. This rule is symbolic but useful: get comfortable, settle fully, stop dangling one part of yourself in wakefulness. In the story, things test the blanket because old creatures respect borders. In life, the rule helps the child complete the posture of rest. A tucked body tells the nervous system the running is over. Rule 10, if someone knocks from inside the wardrobe, do not open it. Say, "We are closed for sleep," and count your breaths to 12. The wardrobe is where the room stores other versions of the child: school clothes, winter coats, old costumes, shoes for places not currently being visited. At night, storage can feel inhabited. The wardrobe rule teaches refusal. Not every knock deserves investigation. Not every mystery must be solved before morning. The phrase "we are closed for sleep" is important because it is polite but final. It gives the child language for boundaries. Politeness without surrender is a skill many adults still need. Rule 11, do not look under the bed after midnight. If you must check, use a mirror and never your bare face. Looking under the bed is one of childhood's oldest mistakes. The desire to check is natural, but checking often feeds fear. The mirror clause gives a compromise: if you must look, do not put your face at the border. Use distance. Use tools. Use thought before impulse. This rule trains delayed reaction. A scared child wants immediate certainty. The story teaches that some certainty costs too much. Wait. Breathe. Use the rule. Rule 12, if your pillow breathes, turn it over once. If it still breathes, put it gently on the floor and apologize. The breathing pillow is about comfort becoming too familiar. Children attach deeply to objects, and those objects can hold fear as well as safety. Turning the pillow once is a reset. Placing it on the floor and apologizing is a ritual of separation without cruelty. It tells the child, "I can let go of a comfort object if it no longer comforts me." The apology matters. It keeps the action from feeling violent or ashamed. We retire what has become wrong. We do not panic. We place it down. We choose a new support. Rule 13, if footsteps outside your door sound like your mother, ask one question only: what did you call me before I was born? If it answers too quickly, do not unlock the door. The false mother is the most frightening rule because it protects the sacred thing: trust. A child must trust the mother, but not every voice claiming motherhood. The identity question gives the child a tool without poisoning the bond. A real mother knows the slow answer. A monster answers too quickly because monsters steal facts, not memories. Choose a question in real life if using this as a safety ritual, a family phrase, a private nickname, a shared memory. Let the child know that safety can include verification. Verification is not disrespect. It is intelligence. Rule 14. If your reflection does not blink when you blink, say good night to it and turn the mirror face down. Mirrors after 9 invite self-monitoring when the child should be leaving the self alone. Hair, face, expression, imagined flaws, invented movements, all keep the mind awake. The reflection that does not blink is a vivid way to tell the child that the self in the mirror is not needed at bedtime. Say good night to it. Turn it down. The face can wait until morning. Rule 15. If the white paper asks for another sentence, refuse politely. One line is enough. More words make a path. One line is enough. This may be the most important rule for anxious children. Anxiety always asks for another sentence, another check, another reassurance, another ritual. The paper mouth asking for more words represents the way routines can become traps if allowed to expand endlessly. A good bedtime ritual has limits. Do it clearly. Do it once. Then stop. More is not safer. More can become a path back into wakefulness. Rule 16. If the moon appears to have teeth, close the curtains and do not count them. The moon's teeth are intrusive thoughts, strange, beautiful, frightening details the mind wants to count. Counting can soothe, but it can also trap. The rule teaches children not to feed the image. Close the curtains. Do not count. Not every pattern deserves completion. This is especially useful for imaginative children. They can turn a shadow into a story so quickly that the story becomes a room around them. The curtain is a mercy. Rule 17. At 3:33 a.m., do not move, no matter what touches the mattress. There are inspections at that hour. 3:33 is the hour of inspection because every story needs a point when self-control is tested. In real sleep training, this is the midnight waking, the nightmare moment, the body surfacing and asking whether it is safe to panic. The rule says, not every sensation requires action. Do not move, no matter what touches the mattress. Translated gently, this means, pause before reacting. Let the body learn that a feeling can pass without becoming a crisis. Rule 18. In the morning, do not describe them before breakfast. Night things hide in the first story a child tells. Morning storytelling matters. A child who begins the day by describing terror before eating may carry the night into the mouth, stomach, and schedule of the whole house. Breakfast first gives the body evidence that morning has truly arrived. Food anchors. Light anchors. Ordinary tasks anchor. Then the story can be told. Then the mother can listen. The monster is weaker after toast. Do you believe there are rooms around you that cannot be explained?